Good evening everybody, Matt here and welcome to my fragrance obsession. Now, as you guys can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be exploring a very historic house from France in Paris known as Cartier. Please stay tuned and I'll talk about this beautiful fragrance. Okay, so as you guys can see, we're going to be talking about Santos de Cartier. Now this fragrance came out in 1981 and it's known as an Oriental Woody, and sadly I wasn't able to find the perfumer for this fragrance. Now Cartier were founded in Paris 169 years ago in 1847. They're best known for their jewellery, of course. They really have some amazing jewellery. If you check out their catalogue, they really do have some amazing products, including fragrances, but I'll get into that in a second. They really are an amazing company. They remained a family-run business up until 1964. The company's always been grown around elegance, class, and quality, including the famous Santos watch, which is named after Alberto Santos Dumont. And I think you can kind of see where this is coming from. Santos de Cartier, yeah, it's named after him. Alberto Santos Dumont, who was one of the earliest makers in aeroplanes and hot air balloons. He was a genius. Some of the transport that he created were revolutionary for the time. Really, really were. And he was a great admirer of Cartier. He wore a lot of jewelry by this company. And they wanted to make, in 1981, they wanted to make a fragrance named after him. And that's where Santos de Cartier comes from. And this box is just absolutely beautiful. It's red, and red is a very luxurious colour, and Cartier are known for their red boxes. Red in general is just such a beautiful colour. It catches that elegance, and this box is definitely showing that. So we get Santos de Cartier there, and we get this beautiful border around here, which really captures that elegance. We get Eau de Toilette underneath there. We also get Eau de Toilette, spray, 100 ml, 3.3 fluid ounce, and we don't get a lot of information on the back, which is what I really like. It really makes this box look even more classy, because it doesn't need a lot of information, and I think when you put too much information on a bottle, it kind of makes it look a bit tacky. Whereas with this, it's red, it's got fancy writing on the front, and there's not a lot of information on the back. You kind of get more classy than that, in my opinion. And I also want to show you guys this. We get this lovely little logo on the top here where it says Cartier Parfums Paris. So let's get into the box. I just have to show you this fragrance's bottle because it's so nice. There we have the bottle. Now this fragrance is the main reason, probably one of these fragrances, I mean this one and there's a lot of others, but this one especially is the main reason why I really love fragrances and why I'm so admired and why I have a huge passion for them. Because this fragrance is probably the most elegant, most historic, and most beautiful fragrance that I think I've ever come across. Because this has been on my wish list for a very long, well, not a very long time, probably around 3 years, ever since I was about 20. I remember smelling this for the first time in a store, as you do when you check out fragrances for the first time, and I just remember being blown away. I mean, at the time, I wasn't as big on strong fragrances because, of course, this is a very strong fragrance. I wasn't as big on them. I was more into sort of subtle, aquatic scents, woody sort of scents, you know? So this was something new to me. This was probably the first powerhouse scent that I think I ever had my nose on. And since then, I've always loved it. I really, really have. I mean, this bottle is just beautiful. It's solid glass. It's got this sort of matte finish, which I really like. It's black. We get Santos de Cartier there in really beautiful fancy writing. We get some information on the bottom here. Parfum Cartier 75008 Paris. Eau de Toilette Cartier Incorporated, distribution New York, made in France. and this is a 100ml. I believe you can get two sizes, the 50ml and the 100ml. Now, the top notes in this fragrance are lavender, basil, and bergamot. The middle notes are nutmeg, cumin, and juniper berries. And the base notes are sandalwood, cedarwood, patchouli, vetiver, coconut, and vanilla. So when you first smell this fragrance, you get this very strong, bold smell. It smells very classic. It sort of reminds me of those other sort of early 1980s powerhouses that were released during the same year. I mean, two fragrances come to mind from two amazing houses. One of them is Yves Saint Laurent, and that fragrance was called Kouros, and the other house is called Chanel, and that fragrance was Antaeus. And I actually own both of those fragrances in my collection, and I love them very much. But this one is more classy than both of those fragrances. It's probably more closer to Kouros than it probably is to Antaeus. Bloody hell. But this one to me is definitely more well blended, more higher quality in smell, and it probably lasts longer as well than both of those fragrances. I get about 9 hours out of this scent. Now I'm going to spray a little bit. I'll spray a little bit here. Good sprayer on this too. Check this out. It doesn't give you a lot, which is really good because it is a strong fragrance and you don't need a lot on your skin. So it gives you just the right amount, I think. I'll put the box over here. There we go. Not that you can see it, but whatever. Okay, what does this fragrance smell like? Here we go. So like I said, strong. Just very, very strong, very masculine, but overall very elegant. It's the perfect gentleman's fragrance. Probably the two most strongest notes that I get in this whole fragrance are probably that lavender note and the basil, especially in the top. Like, it's so overpowering, very floral, very powdery, but it's also got this herbal quality to it as well. I guess that comes from the basil. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's like a herbal basil. Very, very strange, but very, very nice. And that bergamot's also in there as well, giving it that tiny touch of zestiness. Not a total zesty type bergamot, but it's very subtle, and you can definitely detect it if you put your nose right to it. In terms of the heart notes, like, I did wear this before, and I could actually detect a lot of the other notes, including the dry down. This is the second time I've sprayed this fragrance today. So, the nutmeg, the cumin, and the juniper. Nutmeg in this fragrance is so strong. Like, after this has been on your skin for about half an hour, the nutmeg actually comes into magic really, really well. It's probably the best nutmeg that I think I've ever smelled in any fragrance, because a lot of nutmegs that I've come across in fragrances smell very unrealistic. They don't smell as nice. Just, they don't smell great. In this one, it smells very refined and gorgeous. Really, really nice. In terms of the cumin and juniper, I don't get a lot of those, but really, really beautiful. It's got this sort of pine quality to it. It's like a clove-covered pine. Very, very unique. Even though clove isn't in this fragrance along with the pine, but I do get that sort of quality out of this. Very, very different. And in the base notes, that sandalwood and the cedarwood. Those two notes especially are very strong. Very woody, but very warm. And I think that's what I really like about this fragrance. It starts out so strong from the beginning, but after it's been on your skin for about 4 hours, it smells wonderful. It really brings it down to this sort of subtle, woody, slightly sweet gentleman's scent. Perfect. It's a little bit like Kouros with less clove and more nutmeg, if that makes sense. It's very, very strange, but also very difficult, I think, to really describe, because it's just a masterpiece, and it is different. Like, I mean, I know I've compared it to Antaeus and Kouros, but it's so different, and I think that this is the perfect gentleman fragrance. I mean, it's strong, it's inviting, it's romantic, it's a very handsome scent. Definitely the type of scent you can imagine a man on a doorstep with a bunch of flowers to surprise the girl that he loves. That's the type of fragrance this is. So romantic, so warm, so elegant, so beautiful. Honestly, this is just a gorgeous scent. But one note, I will say this: I was very disappointed. Well, two notes technically, but one more. But the two notes that I was so disappointed in this fragrance, because I couldn't smell them, was the coconut and the vanilla. Don't get any of that, if I'm honest with you. The coconut, I mean, it's probably a different type of coconut. The coconut I really think of is, your typical sort of holiday vacation sort of, coconut, tropical coconut. This one isn't like that. I mean, it must be in there somewhere. It must be a different type of blend. I don't know. But I don't know. In terms of vanilla, however, I don't get a lot of, I mean, I get a tiny little bit of it in the dry down, but overall, it's more sort of woody with that sandalwood and cedarwood. Patchouli is also quite strong in this fragrance. You do smell it after about half an hour more, I think. I mean, you do smell it from the beginning, but after about half an hour, it really starts to get strong. It's just amazing. It's because it opens up very strong and bold, but it really dries down to something very spectacular. And I think that's what a lot of people are bothered by when they first smell this. It's because it's so strong, it's so majestic and overpowering. But really, give it a chance. And I guess that's the same with all fragrances. People judge them too easily on their first initial smell. But this one, I think, once it's on your skin, you really will start to love it. I mean, I happen to love the beginning of this fragrance. I think it opens up really beautiful. But a lot of people probably won't like it because it is strong. But, of course, if you're into your strong fragrances, you'll like it anyway. I mean, it's a great scent. But it really is beautiful. I would highly recommend checking out this fragrance. If you want to smell something that's sort of gentleman-like quality, very classic smelling, but just downright beautiful, that is this fragrance, Santos de Cartier. Thank you so much for watching this review, everybody. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think of this fragrance in the comments below, and I will get back to you. You guys are incredible. Keep smelling good. Always wear what you really enjoy and what nobody else will tell you to wear. Please, because that is the most important thing. Honestly, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep smelling good. Have a great evening. Goodbye for now.